Okay, welcome back everybody. So I've been doing a lot of thinking since the last video, and I do still have the same plans, but I feel like my plans have been clarified quite a bit since I filmed the last video. So yes, it is true. I do plan to move into my car. I'm moving into my car imminently. I'm moving in just next week. So I'm wrapping up all of the stuff around the apartment. And I really wanted to kind of touch upon whether this is by choice or not. Technically, it is not by choice because I could technically at this point just work my full time job at the warehouse and I could scrape together the money. It would be expensive, it would not be fun, but I could scrape together the money and rent an apartment where I used to live. I know she has available units or somewhere like it. But I would have to be going back and working full time. And while that seems like it would be like an easy fix right now, I know that it's not the right decision because I've also I've also seen my doctor since the last video. And that appointment was just very clarifying that I am not the kind of person I cannot do a full-time job plus. Like I cannot do a full-time job and another full-time job or a full-time job and a part-time. It's nearly full-time job. It's just too much for me. We really, realized that just talking to my doctor, it's just very obvious that how the state that I was in when I came into his office almost a month ago, we cannot go back to that state. I was stable, but it was going in the direction of maybe even being needed to be like admitted or something. I mean, I was still like in the road, like I was in the center of the road. I had not like veered off, but it was getting there. And another concern is that I have ADHD, I'm very neurodivergent, and I just don't have enough medication to cover all of the hours that I was trying to work because I was doing the full-time job and I was doing the YouTube, all of the editing. I'm not speaking of this channel. This channel is actually very relaxing and very fun at this point. My other channel is fun too, but it's a whole bunch of work. It's a whole another animal. And so I was needing to use a lot of my medication to edit, to go to work. And I was running out of medication by the end of the month. I was running out of medication. And we both decided that the answer to this was not to increase my medication. That's just not the right answer. So then you say, well, Claire, like how this is a no-brainer. Like, why don't you just go move into a nice apartment like you had before? Go get a full-time, go back to your full-time job and just get your income every month. You'll be fine. And that to me is not a choice. I cannot do that. That means my whole life would consist of working in a warehouse to pay my rent and maybe save a little bit of money, maybe. And to me, that is a death sentence. And I know that sounds extreme, and I'm not judging other people's lives as such, what I just said. But for myself, I cannot take that on. To me, that just sounds so depressing and just suppressing myself and my creativity. And the thing is it's unrealistic because I will continue to create content. I will continue to go car camping, which takes a lot of energy and a lot of time. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but basically I am moving into my car. I've spent a lot of time justifying it here in this video so far. But I'm moving into my car. It is a small car. And you may be wondering, okay, well, are you not going to pay taxes now? I feel like that's the first thing that like a lot of people comment on my other channel is like, well, you don't pay taxes. And I'm just like, no, just because you live in your car, that doesn't mean you don't pay taxes. I will have an address. I will use a forwarding mail service. I will continue all of my work that I do except for the warehouse job. Obviously, the warehouse job is going to have to go. If I didn't have a dog, I would seriously consider keeping the warehouse job part-time and just living out of my car and working the warehouse job. But having a dog, that is definitely, like, that's not even on the table because what would I do with my dog? You know, I can't leave him in unclimate-controlled weather. So I will be continuing like my other, like my lines of work, my gig work, my YouTube work, my online work. So I will be like letting go of that bread and butter income of my warehouse job, but I also will not have to pay rent. So my YouTube income will become more of a bread and butter, as will my gig work. It is a little daunting, I will be honest. I went through a few days where I was so scared and I was so nervous, but I'm kind of back to the excited phase right now. I have rented a storage unit. Excuse me. I think I have allergies in this apartment too. I've rented a storage unit, and then in a few days, I'm going to rent a cargo van. I wanted to get a pickup truck, but they didn't have any, and I will be moving what I was not able to sell on Facebook Marketplace into my storage unit. And by the way, everything I was trying to sell on Facebook Marketplace, it's all like hard-sided stuff, like this cooler. Somebody bought this cooler, they're gonna get it. Like it's like wire. I sold some bookshelves, like it's like hard-sided stuff. Anyway, at the end of the video, I am going to show you my car very quickly. Yeah, this place is so disgusting. I do not want to live here. And not only that, but like on top of the cockroaches, which are actually getting worse. I'm actually developing migraine headaches living here because out in the hallway, I'm allergic to these like scented things that you put in your car, and they have them like tacked to the wall, like all in the hallway. So every time I walk back and forth, it's low-key triggering a migraine. Last night it was really bad because I was coming back and forth to my car. So I'm so excited to get out of here. Like one thing I will be doing differently, like I've lived in my car before, but before I always like associated with living in my car with like really intense, like epic traveling. And that's not going to be necessarily at all happening in this situation. I'm going to be very cognizant about money, about income. I'm going to be trying to be very careful. I have to be very, very careful because I have had a car breakdown living in a car. Well, it was actually a minivan, but the minivan broke down. I became homeless. It was a terrible situation. I don't know why I'm laughing. It was really bad. It was bad. But I don't want to go there again. Okay. So this time it's not going to be just going all over the country. My days are going to be really focused on working. So it's going to be hard. Having a dog certainly does make the situation more complicated. But now that I've been spending so much more time with Parker, I just cannot imagine leaving him again. I was leaving him for upwards of 10 hours a day, and he is a companion dog. He's a Shih Tzu, and I just don't think it's good for him. And so I really just feel so much happier that I've been spending more time with him, and he just seems happier to me. So I really just want to keep, just make sure, because he loves to go outside. So he'll get lots of outside time, like lots of dog parks, lots of like hiking and stuff like that, and just time spent with my dog. And I know it is a little bit controversial. I know some people get upset when they see dogs in the car and stuff, but I don't leave him in the car, certainly not in unseasonable weather. I am just really at peace with my decision, but I am very nervous about it. So let's go take a look at my car. It's not a full tour, but I just want to show you just what the car is. And then I want to show you, yeah, I'll just show it to you. Let's go take a look. Okay, so this is said car. As you can tell, this is not like a van or an SUV or anything like that. It's very, very small. I probably shouldn't show where I live. Just so you know, don't move here. I'm still getting my car together. Still have some work to do on it. Let me show you what I've done with the bed. My friend Scott, if you are into truck camping, check out his channel. He took a lot of time yesterday. It was so nice of him, and he really helped me out. He was so nice to help me out. He took a lot of time. He might actually help me build a bed later this summer. But I had this cot, and it was just kind of all like wobbling around and stuff. And he took the time to like put some boards down. I'm not gonna have to be, stressing about the bed and how it is. Yeah, so there will be some challenges to this, and it's not going to be easy, but I really think that is a better long-term solution for me, because if I just go get an apartment right now and work full time, and the warehouse. I just know that it's going to be hard for me long term because next winter I will face the same issues I was facing last winter with the seasonal affective disorder. And I'm just not about quick fixes right now. I'm just more about finding what works for me long term. And with the introduction of robotics, I just don't know how long these jobs, I'm just not really willing to put all the years into a job like this. And it doesn't even matter because I'm not happy there. So while this definitely comes with risks, I do feel that this is the best situation for me and I'm really looking forward to it. So I will still continue to post on this channel. I really want to keep my main YouTube channel how it is because on one hand it's tempting to like incorporate like kind of videos like I'm doing on this channel into that channel because it just seems like that would be easier, right? To have it all in one place. But I've actually have come to rely on that channel for income, and I don't really want to mess around with it too much because I don't, no matter what happens, I want to have a place where I can share safely. So God forbid if my car were to break down, like, and I needed to talk about my life, you know, I'd want to be able to talk about it in a place where I don't jeopardize like my whole income. So I hope that makes sense, but I really do want this channel to continue to focus. It's not going to be car, like I will be living in my car, but the channel is not going to be dedicated to living in a car because at some point I might not want to live in a car anymore. At some point I might want to do something else. I might want to buy land or renovate a garage to park my car at, or I don't know. I don't see living in a car as like the panacea. It's more about like the theme of doing things a little bit differently. I think I want this to be a more holistic kind of outlook. Maybe that's sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but maybe you understand what I'm trying to say, that just doing things one way, that doesn't always work. Like what works for my parents, that is not going to work for me. I was raised in a household where my dad had a job and my mom stayed at home. We had 2 kids. We went on vacations. We had we lived on one income and owned a house, and that's just not how it is today. So sometimes we just have to change. So I just really want to focus on trying to live my best life, and I hope this can be inspiring and get ideas from each other. I'm not quite sure what the next video is going to be, but I want to thank all of you new subscribers. I want to thank you, and to the people from my other channel, if the algorithm sent you, hey, see ya.